Have you ever seen Three Ninjas?
Yeah.
Oh
Have
my
you
God.
seen Three Ninjas?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that movie single-handedly gave my brother and I an unreal amount of
No
confidence.
way.
Yeah. These children would take on like complete armies of ninjas.
Yeah,
It's
man.
like, it's complete lies.
And we believed it.
And we totally thought it was. We left that theater thinking,
All in one weekend before the parents got home.
Yeah.
all I gotta do is just learn karate, and I could do that. All right, we're ready to go. No Prisoners podcast. We got Gilmar here, as well as myself and the special guest. But before we have the special guest, we're Bucks County's #1 investigative journalism outlet. We investigate in journalism. That's what we do. But we have another event coming up, Happy Hour, June 28th at 86 West upstairs. First one already happened. It was a blast. The place is really cool. You should swing by. Special guests should swing by.
I'll be there.
And we have these roll-up doors. We also have the whole dining room upstairs, private bartender. It was a good time. This time we have special sponsorship. JTR Management / Superior Roofing. Roofs. Picking up the bar tab. Shout out to Justin for doing that. And, well, we have Anthony here from Valhalla Mindset. But that's not really, you guys are more of a fitness gym, striking gym. Or like, is that the name of your business officially? Or like, what do you guys, is it just Valhalla? Or
So,
what are we doing here?
Yeah, Valhalla Mindset was originally the business name. And then it expanded. So now we kind of made it simplified, and Valhalla Mindset Striking and Fitness. We do a little bit of everything. Strength and conditioning on top of striking, including boxing and Muay Thai.
Damn, that was a killer entry there. That like nobody has ever killed what they do so cleanly as you.
45 minutes in traffic, and I was just, that's all I got for you. That's all you're getting out of me tonight.
Yeah, it's almost like there was a second take.
Yeah, I drafted the first three sentences I was going to say, and that's the best I'm going to get.
Well, yeah, like I mean, it makes me feel good that you came prepared.
Yeah, that's all.
You came up from Philly? Did you have to come up 95?
I came up 95, yeah, northbound, but it was north of the collapsed.
Oh, okay,
exit,
so you were already past.
Oh, I was, yeah.
Okay.
I was prepared.
Yeah. Jeez. What a situation that is.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
I saw the best picture.
I have the best picture.
No.
I have the video
Oh, yeah?
of it, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to more reference like a ridiculous picture. Those Hot Wheels loops when we were kids? Somebody took a picture of a Hot Wheels loop and photoshopped it onto the highway, and it worked perfectly. And I was like, you know what? That's what they could really do. I don't know what they're going to do about that whole 95 thing. So if they get it fixed quickly, we're all going to realize what bullshit dicking around they've been doing on the rest of the 95
For the 4 lanes, yeah.
Yeah,
for the last 17 years, yeah.
For the last, like, our entire lives, they've been working on 95. But anyway, I guess it's probably going to drag out for a while. That sucks for the people that have to commute. I'm
going to say there's going to be nonstop traffic in the city, like there is every day. It's just going to get worse and worse. I like it. There we go. That's the new.
That's exactly what they should do.
The new blueprint. I like it.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you if you, I was going to be like, hey, did you hit the loop on the way up here?
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have known what I was going to say.
Now until you showed me.
Just like
I would have just agreed with you. It's all right.
You would have been like, yeah, definitely hit the loop.
Yeah, definitely saw
the loop-de-loop. So before we got started, you were talking about kind of when you got started was in or about the time of coronavirus.
Correct.
Yeah. So being that you're already in law enforcement, did you start doing like the coaching on the side just to kind of like supplement your income, or was this just something you've always wanted to do, or did this happen naturally? I guess take us through that. Like, how did it happen?
All right, so I'll be 100% honest and real because that's why I'm here, and that's who I am. I'm black and white, straightforward with everything. So during COVID, it was a time for when the riots happened, especially in law enforcement, especially in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So we were working anywhere from 21 to 30 days straight 12 to 16-hour shifts, nonstop.
Okay.
During that time, shortly after that, unfortunately I was involved in a police discharge, a shooting. Mm-hmm. So I was off the street for 6 to 7 weeks, just for protocol purposes.
Yeah, because anytime you shoot your firearm,
you're under investigation. You have to go through certain protocol in order to get the firearm back and to make sure you're capable of doing your job both physically and mentally.
Did they give you the same gun back, or did they give you a new one?
No, it's a new gun. That gun is considered under investigation. So the city takes it, and you'll never see it again. Oh. So you get a new gun back, and you go through the protocols of the city. You get cleared by the DA's office, and then you get cleared by the city, and you're able to go back onto the street. There's certain stages and steps you have to take with retraining, as well as even going to EAP, like an employee assistance program, talking to a shrink, things of that nature, in order to get mentally, cleared to go back. They evaluate you from all different levels.
Yeah.
But actually during that time is kind of when I had, I kind of had a reflection of myself, and I wanted to finally do something, for me, that I've been in law enforcement since I was a kid. I was 19 years old. I didn't really know who I was at that time. And
so instead of going to college, you went to the police academy?
I attempted college. I went to a couple classes. It was a good attempt, but, I tried. I showed up. I was there, okay? My name was on the roster. I was there. Yeah. But from there, I went immediately into the police department. And then from there, kind of changed my outlook of a young kid to an adult very quickly.
Yeah.
Just with the authority and the sense of responsibility that you have and you obtain through law enforcement. So it matured me quickly. And like I said, we can even get into that later. There's pros and cons that come with it, no matter what.
Yeah. Well, I think we're all. I think everybody has their own personal opinion on law enforcement, but I think the majority of individuals, regardless of how you feel about law enforcement, can agree it's a difficult job that comes with a lot of nuances, and you wear a lot of hats as a police officer. You have to be a salesman. You have to be
everything.
You have to be. I
was a marriage counselor. I was 20 years old. 19, 20 years old. I wasn't married. I had no clue what I was talking about, but you kind of you learn. The one sense that I picked up is like, you learn that you can talk to anybody, and that actually helped me with the way I coach. I can relate to anybody, and I'm very relatable, and I can speak in ways of where you may understand something and you don't get it, and I can use terminology and words that'll help you. Oh, okay, I catch on, and that's just the way I like to teach. So you can talk your way through anything, and it's not so much like bullshitting people. It's the fact of like, you show like some sense of like character and humility. You act as a human. Everyone thinks you're so robotic. You're robotic. Your sense of authority. And if you just act human and put yourself in somebody else's shoes, I mean, people relate to that so much better. But like you said, everyone has their opinion of law enforcement, and at this time, it's a difficult job. But
yeah, I think
my own
everybody
experience.
has their opinion on everything. Yeah. So it just is one of those.
It's just one of those things that get caught up. And you're held to a higher standard.
Yeah, and there also doesn't need to be a need for everybody to say that job's the hardest. Like, everybody, there are a lot of jobs that are extremely difficult. Owning a business is extremely difficult. Being a chef has its complications. Being a trash man and cleaning up the streets and almost getting hit by the car multiple times a day is a difficult job. So I think if people could look at law enforcement officers and be like, wow, that's a difficult job, and then deal with them realizing that it's a difficult job, and then that also happen, reflectively on behalf of like the citizens, be like, law enforcement are like, hey, I don't know what you have going on. It would go a lot easier, but everybody jumps too quickly.
Yeah, and it's a slow-paced job but a fast-paced job. It's something where you have to make a decision within split seconds, and that the decision could be, life or death, or it cannot be. 9 times out of 10, most time in law enforcement, everyone sees movies and things of that nature, and it's not that by any means. It's just talking to people all day long. People have problems.
I thought you were like Mark Wahlberg in like the movie The Other Guys.
I do have a wooden gun, yeah, and a Prius. It's right out front. Yeah, I do.
So while you were, hanging out and, going through your administrative, whatever that procedure is,
right.
We don't need to get into that. What, like, did you just needed to move around? You needed to like stay busy. So
yeah, it was so much for the sense
you
of,
knew striking, so you figured why not?
Yeah, so I did it since I was young, and probably I'm 34 now, so probably like around 4 years ago I stopped competing, and after I stopped competing, I lost a sense of myself, and it became more mental health for me in terms of just working out and stress, and it became part of my routine and something I needed to do, in order just to make sure everything works up there properly for me. And I never really trained anybody. So what happened was I went to my one buddy's first amateur boxing fight. And I met his trainer. His name's Malik Harris. He owns King's Corner up in Lansdale. And they needed someone to help corner him. So I just showed up, had a couple of beers, and I was like, sure, why not? I know boxing. It's been part of my life for years. And I cornered him, and me and him hit it off. He pulled me in and kind of mentored me in the aspect of like, hey, I do this out of my garage. This is where I started. It seems like you have aspirations. You came to me because you want something else. And I was straight up front with him. I said, my plan is one day to do this. This is what I want to do. I want my own sense of, training, my own sense of, leadership in terms of, I want to chase my dream. I'm done. I finally had the confidence in myself to chase my dream. So that's what I did. I started training people with him, and then I slowly redid my garage in Philadelphia. It was a little one-car garage, and I started training people out of there. And it became more of a sense of escape for everyone, not only to build confidence in themselves, but just the fact of like learning a new task, especially if you're into that world of MMA or boxing or Muay Thai. Take that out the window where people don't want to go to the gym because they feel like people judge them. When you go into a fight gym, it's 10 times more intimidating than anything, especially if it's not your world, especially like a true fight gym. It's nerve-wracking.
I'll attest to that.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah, if you're new, for instance, like Evans hosting on Saturday. I mean, this will come out after the fact, but the Saturday after we record this is White Belt Wars.
Correct.
And that came out of, our gym needed, some AED equipment and some other, emergency supplies. And we were throwing ideas around on how to raise funds. Mm-hmm. And then also simultaneously, like we would have this conversation quite regularly about like the experience of going to a jiu-jitsu tournament as a white belt and what that's like. Because sometimes, and this is no disrespect to like any one organization, but they're not well run. A lot of volunteers are there. Like it's a little bit of chaos. Right. It's your first ever jiu-jitsu match.
It's in front of a crowd.
It's in front of a crowd.
You invite your friends like an idiot, and then it just makes you so much more nervous.
And there's rules, and a lot of times when you're a white belt, you've been training for months or maybe a year,
right?
And nobody ever stopped to tell you the rules, and a lot of times they don't even know the rules. And then you decided to compete, and you got there, and you're like, wait a minute, what? Yeah. What, like neon belly?
Right.
That's a okay.
Correct.
So the intro to giving people that comfortability to start training is a huge part of.
I agree. It's the same thing with smokers, especially in Muay Thai. Muay Thai is known for smokers, and basically what that is, you go to another gym where you know that you have respect there with the other trainers, and these guys aren't trying to kill each other in the ring. They're just it's a glorified sparring match, but the whole aspect of it is you get used to fighting in front of a crowd. I don't care if it's 10 people. You get tunnel vision, especially if you're a new fighter and it's your first fight or your first tournament. You get tunnel vision, and you don't hear your coaches or anything like that. You're so focused. So it's a great experience, especially on like a controlled level for when you finally, expand and want to compete, because competition is so nerve-wracking, and the only way to get through to it is just experience over time and time again.
I've been at some gyms for some pretty big smokers though, where there's like a lot of
they
there,
get going. Yeah,
some of those events are really intimidating.
Yeah,
even though don't let them fool you.
Because the crowd has huge influence on someone that doesn't have much experience. Everything, just an ooh or a woo, and you get hit, and it's not hit hard. You're like, oh man, I got hit, and you just let it overtake your mind.
You hear everything.
You hear everything but your coach. You hear everything but your coach until you get to that level.
Have you seen, speaking of boxing, did you see the John Gotti III and Mayweather, the brawl?
Yeah,
did you see that?
The big brawl.
Yeah, Mayweather and John Gotti III, who's John Gotti, the mafia boss's like grandson.
Yeah.
Had an exhibition boxing match, and
I'm not sure what round it got like disqualified, but
it got disqualified, and John Gotti like said something to Mayweather, and then they just started fighting after the ref.
Yeah, and then
declared it was over. Yeah, and then their respective teams rolled into the ring, and Mayweather's was like 8-1.
Yeah.
His squad, not in just size and numbers. I was like, wow, you messed up. Why would you do this? But anyway.
You still make millions. It's okay. It all works out.
Yeah, it could have been a show. It could have been fake. We're just talking about it now. Doing its job. While that's like rolling up. So this is like how far into COVID, or where are we?
So we're towards kind of the end of COVID, when this all happened, just getting into it, where gyms are slowly starting to open, where
2021,
right, where you have to wear masks and things of that nature. So, like I told you earlier, I didn't really have a sense of social media or anything like that. I had no clue about marketing or anything like that. It was kind of, I learned off a whim, and I learned from that guy Malik Harris, who kind of just guided me through it. So
you got exposed to, like, you didn't have this idea to open a gym in your garage until you linked up with him.
Until I linked up with Malik through my buddy's first amateur fight, just randomly.
And you saw what he was doing, and you're like, huh.
Yeah,
I could put something like this together.
Yeah, because right when I started training people, so like I said, I never really officially trained people. I've done it since I was young, and it's natural to me. So right when that day I pushed him off for about like 3 months. And I finally came to his gym, and he was like, just come. And I showed up, and he literally just gave me mitts and said, train him. And he just watched me. And he's like, you're just natural at it. And I enjoy doing it. Like, I get so invested in it, where I actually truly care. You have to
really, you probably, just from like hearing that story, you probably are so passionate about it.
Oh, yeah.
Just as your thing, that it was probably just very natural for you to fall in. Like Gilmar's like that with, creating, I don't want to say art, but like, you can take an idea and make it like cooler when you're trying to make a video, a picture, a graphic, a clothing, no matter what you do. That's because you're so obsessed with those areas already that like you just kind of like just have that knowledge. Mm-hmm. And I think in order to get to that level of knowledge, you have to, that has to just be an obsession.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's all I think about. And it's not so much like I'm not there to, and this is what I feel like really, really separates me, from most trainers, where I don't want people to fight the way I fight. Everyone has their style. And I say it to all my guys. I say it to all my girls. You'll find your flow. And what I mean by flow is you're going to find your sense of style and rhythm in that world. And a little bit of it is from me. The rest is your own artwork and creativity, because that's truly what it is. It's artwork. You have a blank canvas, and you're just presenting your artwork to people. And they're going to pick up on things in different ways and different levels. And there's certain words and terminologies you have to explain to people, but I love it.
Yeah, but that's a much higher level training. You do have to like treat like the beginning
everyone
with
is different
with a lot of fundamentals.
Everyone is the same, but everyone is different. I will get you from A to B the same exact way, from pros all the way down to amateurs, but we're going to take different turns, but we're still going to get to the same route. I teach everyone the same, but on that way, they find their little bits and pieces of what they like, and then they put their, their own little flair onto it, and it becomes more natural for them. Because even, so you do jiu-jitsu. How awkward is jiu-jitsu at first? I was a striker, and when I did jiu-jitsu, I was a fish out of water, because why am I laying on the ground, and why am I on my back?
Well, I started similar to you, striking, and then got into jiu-jitsu through judo, and I put off the judo, and the individual who convinced me to do judo was like really good at it, like world class, and I just like kind of blew him off for a really long time. Right. It was like, what's judo? And then when I got into it and got exposed to like the judo jiu-jitsu, that's when I switched pretty quickly after that. I just was kind of obsessive.
Yeah.
So I get where you're.
It's different to the point where, especially if you have one without the other, like coming from striking to jiu-jitsu, it's a love-hate relationship, but it makes you want it more. You put me in a gi, I'm gonna truly hate it. I love no gi, but I love it. I hate it to the point where I'm gonna keep going because it just annoys me and pisses me off until I get it right, because it's so technical.
Yeah. I guess what jiu-jitsu was striking was, like we just grew up fighting everybody, like each other,
right?
My brother, like everybody was we were always scrapping or going to boxing or, karate for a period of time, like everybody did in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then when I started to realize that, like, after I hit you, I can maul you.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like it sounds ridiculous to say, but it felt like there was like another door to fighting opened, and I'm like, oh, this is what you do after you hit somebody.
Right.
And then I was just like, oh, I need to master this.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of and then the community is a lot different. In this area,
yeah,
it's incredibly outside the city. It's incredibly hard to find real striking.
Oh my
gyms.
God, yes. All the
see striking gyms, but they're not. When you kind of
like
watch
I said,
them,
they're super competitive. And if you're not competing, they don't want you. If you're not bringing a name in, they don't want you there. You need to be competitive, like what I did when I was younger. And the reason during this time too, like to rewind back, what was the only sporting event on during COVID?
Fighting.
It was fighting. It was the UFC.
Yeah, thanks. Shout out to Uncle Dana.
Or there you go. And everyone wanted, everyone watched it because there's nothing else on TV. So everyone saw, oh my God, look at all these people. They're in shape. That looks fun. But not many people want to compete, and that's perfectly okay. But to go into a gym and actually learn how to properly strike, it's tough when you don't want to compete. So that's why I love like training people that are moms that just had kids and they want to get in shape and they want to actually learn self-defense. I don't do fitness boxing. I don't do fitness Muay Thai. I don't do that. It's learning a craft and truly getting good at it, and for self-defense purposes. But on the way, we're gonna have fun, and we're gonna slowly rise you up different levels.
I think that's the most, integrating it with fitness and getting in shape and improving your mindset is the most important sales component of what you're offering, because everyone should be able to fight.
Yeah.
But learning how to fight's not fun unless you are doing it with, people you like, or you have camaraderie.
Yeah.
Or there's the mutual suffering, or you're combining it with, getting healthier.
Right.
So there's that added benefit.
Right. There's different components that you have to hit and you have to touch base on. Where when I first learned how to strike, it was years and years ago, and I didn't touch a pair of gloves or a bag for a year. I was doing nothing but footwork. And I have young kids that come in and they wanna learn how to fight properly, and that's where they're gonna start. But I have other people where I have to, footwork is a huge component of striking. It's everything. If you don't know how to dance, you're going to learn how to dance. But there's different ways to go about it, so everybody has fun doing it. And, there's no end goal. It's not like they have a fight in 5 weeks. You can take your time with it. It's a process. It's supposed to be enjoyed. And if you put someone in such a situation where they're not used to, where deep down, especially, this is where the mental aspect for me works out perfectly, and that's why I love it, where I can push you to your limit, and you can stop believing in yourself, and I'm there just to pick you up for an extra 30 seconds, 20 seconds, anything, just an advancement or more positive impact on your life, and make you believe in yourself just a little bit more each and every time. I think that's huge, because some people just don't have that drive at first, and they don't believe in themselves, and that's where I come into play with it. It's just, and it keeps them coming back more. I'm not there to kill them, or like, they can't get out of bed because they're so sore, but it's at a point where, I can do this. I can go another round, and it plays with their mental game. It's huge. I think that's the biggest component, especially nowadays, because mental health just itself is huge nowadays. And, it's overlooked, especially with men, because men don't like to talk about things. And I think it's huge, especially for guys, and I'm talking about personal aspects in law enforcement as well as veterans, where they keep a lot inside. And I have veterans that go to me, and one of my business partners, Sean Lee, is a veteran, and he started off training with me. And my rule was, if you're having a shitty day, dude, call me anytime, and we'll hit rounds. And what he's been through in his life, and me and him talked about, PTSD and everything of that nature. And I can speak about that because he's my business partner, and we have that relationship. And I know he's with me on the mental health, where we want to spread it. Where anytime that you're feeling just having a shitty day, come and hit pads, and that's it. Let it go. Leave it all in the ring and just let it go.
Yeah, I think there's so many things to talk about in that area.
So many.
And I think that the jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai component of kind of self-betterment and learning how to fight and just like kind of work, like you can't worry about anything else going on in your life when you're preventing someone from hitting you in the face or choking you.
Yep.
So there's no real other, like, you can run, like I've done, running, competitive running, like cycling, swimming, like those things. Other than swimming, like swimming, you're worried about breathing so much that you're so focused on that, and that's really therapeutic. But like cycling, like you're pedaling, like eventually you zone out, or running, you're thinking, like you don't, when you're having a mental, when you're having like a struggle where you're, going for 45 minutes plus, and then also exerting yourself, so you're getting that dopamine, and like, or serotonin, I don't know, whichever one.
So,
yeah.
I got you.
You heard me. I was like, yeah, serotonin. No. So you're getting, that's great for your mental health as well. So
it's huge.
I think that meditation, things like that, there's a place for it, but I wish that, especially with like high school males, I wonder what it would be like if we started implementing, more positive, like, hey, like start wrestling, or hey, do like doing these things that are kind of been pushed aside in a lot of like we have large communities, but they're very cliquey.
They are.
Whereas like you talk to my dad was born in the 50s.
Right.
They had, like, he told me, he's like, yeah, I learned how to wrestle. I mean, his wrestling game's trash. No offense, Jim. But like they wrestled in junior high and high school. Like, you got in the swimming pool in school. Like you learned to fight the other kids in your grade in gym class. And then once all that stuff stopped happening, like it's,
Yeah, it definitely, especially with young adults and even high schoolers, it comes to the point where everything in high school is a team sport. Wrestling is not. It is a team sport, but you're out there on your own, and that's a huge difference. If you're having an off day, that's on you and you only. It's up to you to pick it up, or it's up to you to, get mentally prepared for, whatever you need to do next if you did fail in the first round or the first match. The discipline it takes for a fighter, a jiu-jitsu player, a striker, anything, it's consistency and discipline. It's a selfish sport, especially if you're competitive at it. And the only way to get better is you have to show up in the fucking gym every day. That's the only way to get better. It's not gonna sporadically happen. It's not magical. It's not gonna happen right overnight. It's just going and grinding every day and putting yourself through hell, and slowly take those steps to get better, because nobody else is gonna do it for you. jiu-jitsu guys are probably one of the most chill and humble people I've ever met. That it's the most chill community.
I think that we were talking about it in the gym a few weeks ago, and I think that comes from the honesty, that which is jiu-jitsu. You cannot, walking into a gym like that,
humbled.
like you can kind of fake it as a boxer in certain capacities, or a striker, if like, you know, maybe. But it's jiu-jitsu, like if you walk around telling everybody you're friends with, you're a purple belt and you haven't trained a day in your life, like everyone's going to know that very quickly if you ever walk into a gym.
Yeah.
So everybody in the gym kind of has this, like, their barriers dropped. It's because they're like all mutually like, hey, like we all know where we stand as individuals in this gym. And then you build these relationships out of like this honesty. And if you're not that way when you start training jiu-jitsu, like by the somewhere into your training, like you will definitely become a more like
open-minded. Absolutely.
Yeah,
because
definitely
it's more, open-minded is a good, like I said, it's individual, but it's teamwork, especially in jiu-jitsu. It's teamwork. You looking at higher belts, or even you know, the same belts, even white belts, maybe more advanced white belt, like a 3-stripe white belt, where you're looking at simple maneuvers and, you know, you're taking bits and pieces. And same thing with jiu-jitsu. You find your flow. You take bits and pieces of everyone. Even like Evan, for example, he is one of I love his training style so much. I think I'm very similar to him, especially we both train Alex Kamatic. Our striking, he's his MMA jiu-jitsu coach. I'm a striking coach. But our striking coincides together so well because we're very simple and straightforward. It's angles, basics and angles, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
But it's more of the explanation behind it. Like Evan breaks down jiu-jitsu so well and so technical that people who never experienced it a day in their life understand it. You might not get everything, but you're going to take a little bit from that day and you're going to be like, oh, okay, like I get it. And everyone says, no matter what, boxing, Muay Thai and all, you can watch it on TV all you want. You can be a keyboard warrior all you want. It's hard. Even footwork, shrimping, it's hard until you get used to it. It's not as easy what people think by any means. And that's where it comes with the consistency and the discipline and the humbleness. You have to be humble. If you have an ego, it'll eat you up before the guys in the gym will. That'll eat you up before the guys in the gym, because you're going to go there and you're going to get tapped so many times. And you show up the next day with a smile on your face and just continue that journey. That's the whole aspect of it.
Yeah. That was really well said.
I wrote it down in traffic as well. That was the last. That's my conclusion.
I'm just gonna say amen.
Yeah.
to Saint Jocko.
Saint Jocko.
There you go.
And Saint Rogies.
Saint Rogies.
Where so you were doing this, you started getting some momentum, started formalizing the idea. What are you gonna call it? Like now, fast forward to today, you guys are opening a physical location.
Yes, we're opening a 2,000 square foot warehouse in Tacony, Bridesburg area.
How exciting!
Philadelphia.
That's
I'm
exciting.
super. It's full circle, dude. I walk in there every day with a smile on my face. And the funny thing is, all three of us have full-time jobs. It's me, Alex Kamatic, and Sean Lee. All three of us have full-time jobs, and we're ecstatic about it. It's a dream that we kind of just put all together, and these guys just joined me on my dream, and they believed in me and you know, in my vision, and they just joined it. And now we're just creating something where we're expanding my dream into theirs and becoming one. And it's just, it's so real, and it's just, I'm so excited for people to experience it. And I try to market it the best I can, but the only way to really get the experience is just show up one day. Just let me come to one of the classes. Let one of us teach you something. And once you learn our personalities and our mission behind everything, you get hooked. Just like, you just have to take that initial step to allow us to show you something. Just show up, and I promise, like, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. So you're offering, Gilmar, can you click on like that one? Yeah. Dude, you know me. Nam, I thought it was a menu thing.
Yeah, right there.
Is there? Yeah, that one. Cool. So right now you guys are doing three different.
Right.
You guys are doing kids. Well, you're doing everybody. I thought this was a different thing.
Yeah.
You're doing 3 different classes.
So this is more the membership package. So basically, what you're looking at right now is our pre-introductory rates prior to us opening. So we have people on a wait list, and anyone that's on a wait list, you'll immediately get, you know, a lifetime fee of $99 a month as an adult, unlimited, and you get discounted rates on privates, as well as family. You'll get an additional 20% off that rate, as well as kids. It's only $49 a month for unlimited everything. For law enforcement, as well as students, high school students, college students, you'll get an additional 20% off of your member rate.
Yeah, so you guys are pricing yourselves extremely competitively, I would say.
I want the best training you can get for a reasonable rate. You're out of your mind.
You can't train anywhere else for that amount of money.
No. And like I said, I want to start off, and that's what I attempted to do. I want to start off small. And the reason that this separates us, when I started in my gym, I did only personals, one-on-ones. And that's why people loved it. They love that whole one-on-one aspect, because you build a relationship, you build a rapport with people. The difference I want to perform, especially even at Evans, this is why I love his facility so much, is that they're small classes, and that's what I want. I don't want somebody in a corner that's new, that's just lost and no one's paying attention to them, or just put them on the bag and we're going to ignore that person. I want everyone to get the sense of you're taking a class and you're getting that personal, that personal training experience. That's why I want to be different. Like, that's why I said I don't teach fitness. I don't teach fitness boxing or Muay Thai. It's not like a Cherry Hill CKO kickboxing. You're not just kicking a bag, not knowing what you're doing. There's whole technicality behind it. Your techniques, your hands down. You're getting notified that your hands down. You're not going to be lost. It's just like a personal one-on-one. If it expands to the point, which I hope it does, and I know it will, to the point where our class gets larger and larger, we're just going to add another class. We're not putting people in a room and just forgetting about it, because you're paying me a rate, you're paying me for my service, and I'm going to give you that full utmost service. Same thing with Sean and Alex. We want to center focus on the clients, and we want to get back to the clients. That's another thing that we want to do, where we're going to have monthly challenges, and something as simple as, say you double your calories you did last month, because we're going to have heart rate monitors and everything there. So if you're competitive, if me and you are on, like, say example for Alex's class, he's going to be in charge of warrior cardio, because he's basically putting people through a fight camp like he does to get in shape for one of his fights. And me and you are on the ski erg, and we're boys, and we're just talking shit, and we can see our calories burned, and it's motivating for some people.
So you guys are using the MyZone trainer for that?
Yep.
Yeah. That's an investment. That's really cool that you guys are coming out of the gate with, big gym stuff.
It's a personal gym, and it's going to be something. That's why it's going to be so different than, what everything else is in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a big city with a lot of different competitors in there, and I need to stand out. We want to stand out, and we want to be different, but we also want to be reasonable. I'm not going to have a college kid come in there and pay me $250 a month. He won't be able to afford it. It's just not. It's not like I rather or inner city kid that comes to us. They're not affording that, and I rather give them the outlook of the gym than get caught up in the city life. I don't want that. I'd rather come to the gym and let us help you grow, and that's what we're there to do, and we're trying to make it as reasonable as possible. And I think with our rates, we're very competitive in that aspect.
How much of what you're tailoring to your younger students comes from your experience dealing with younger individuals for your job that you're currently, because you're currently in law enforcement,
right?
So you have to be dealing with, younger people at times where you kind of have to think to yourself, damn, if I could just get that kid some gloves and talk to him a little bit.
Yeah, it's a discipline aspect. It humbles people very quick, and I think a lot of people, like even me, that's why I got into it when I was younger. I was a little bit of a hothead. I got in trouble. I was running in the streets doing dumb shit, and I got into boxing, and I had an old school trainer that just brought me up, and instead of me running around the streets on the weekends and things like that, I was hitting the bag. I was throwing thousands of jabs, over a weekend, and it just humbled me to the point where that's all I wanted to do, and that kept my attention span. And I think it's just another outlook where a lot of times people have issues with authority, and I understand that because they have bad experiences.
It's natural.
It's
I think
natural,
it's natural human.
And I'm not even talking about law enforcement, just in general. Bad experiences, and people won't do it. There's also the fact of, team sports. People get cut from team sports, and at such a young age, it kills your confidence. I want to be there to build your confidence, even small wins, and that's the way I take life. Small wins. If you didn't get the jab last week or something simple as footwork, and you get it this week, I don't care if it takes you 3 months. That's a win. That shows commitment and dedication. But as far as the youth, I think it's the number one thing for discipline. Like when we were younger, everyone took Taekwondo and karate. The whole aspect of it was for discipline, following directions. At the end of the day, to learn that kata, you had to memorize that, and you were there drilling it and drilling it and drilling.
Oh, you literally started class. You like bowed when you came in. You started class, everybody bowed, and you scream like, courage.
You better
respect.
You better take your goddamn shoes off too on those mats.
Dude, you were like old child soldiers out there.
Yeah,
dude, we thought we could take out grown men, dude. Have you ever seen the show?
Cobra Kai, dude.
Cobra Kai. Yeah, if done right, no can defend.
Shout out Hawk.
Yeah, dude. Have you ever seen Three Ninjas?
Yeah.
Oh
Have
my
you
God.
seen Three Ninjas?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that movie single-handedly gave my brother and I an unreal amount of confidence.
way.
We're like, hey, man, you're like 12 years old. You're a brown belt. You're good. Dude, we'll take out this dude right here in 7-Eleven. Like, this guy could kick me through a door.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's
It's fun.
life. Those movies, I can understand why they've like cracked down on that excellent Hollywood.
Yeah.
They should bring it back. Somebody should make like a legit remake.
Mm-hmm.
Little Ninjas.
Don't Hollywood it though. Like make it like film it in Alabama,
Yeah.
away from California.
And film it in film, not no digital shit. Make it look old. You know?
I like that.
Yeah, see, that's it. We're going back to where Gilmar throws his spice on things.
I like that.
See what happened right there?
It'll look so much better.
That was spice, dude.
Looks like you got a new project on your hands.
Yeah, we're gonna film the Three Ninjas.
Yeah, we could.
I
be
got
the
fucking
three,
bandanas in the car.
Yeah.
Three ninjas all grown up,
Dude,
like
who's
almost
Colt?
all tatted up and stuff.
Who's Colt?
Yeah.
Timmy is definitely Tum Tum.
Yeah.
My brother has always been Tum Tum.
We're just at the bar trying to do kata hungover.
We're just like we hid Grandpa's samurai sword and we moved 3 times because Dad's in the military and now we can't find it. And then it's like,
so funny.
yeah, dude, that movie was 3 movies were lit.
Yeah, those are good.
That's so funny.
These children would take on like complete armies of ninjas.
Yeah,
It's
man.
like it's complete lies.
And we believed it.
And we totally thought it was. We left that theater thing.
all in one weekend before the parents got home.
Yeah.
All I gotta do is just learn karate, and I could do that. Yeah, what a lie, dude. When I finally got my black belt, I was like, I'm getting my ass kicked. I better learn how to box. No, that's not how it happened.
Yes.
I was boxing at the same time, so I was kind of aware that karate was bullshit. But karate was like my mom's way of kind of ditching us for a couple hours, a couple days a week. Like, we're going as many nights a week as possible, you know.
That's
And
so
looking
funny.
back on it, it was just kind of like. You're gonna go do karate.
Yeah, go
You're gonna
ahead.
go over here and do karate.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a parent yet. Do you have kids?
No.
I do. I might make my kids do karate.
But that's the whole aspect of it, though. If you think back on it, honestly, all it was is discipline and following directions. That's all it was, and that was the whole. Besides, you want to feed through the smoke of bullshit, but think about it. Like you said, you're in there, you're bowing, you're screaming, you're doing your kata. It's all discipline. It's to get anyone from 5 to 8 under control and to do one movement all at the same time was insane. If you think about it, it was just nothing but discipline. It was just to follow simple orders. But as kids, it was so difficult to follow those orders.
Oh, dude,
But you give me a goddamn belt, and I think I'm a yellow belt now. Hell yeah, dude.
dude, to be clear, I was the kid in school that like I ate lunch with the principal.
Nice.
And then eventually my brother ate lunch with us too. Like just to like kind of chill us out. All over the place. The fact that like I was able, like still to this day, I probably know majority of like the katas and things like that. And to learn all of those moves and some of them are pretty intricate and they're like these huge, basically if you don't know what a kata is, it's like a combat dance. It's like a pre-orchestrated like set of moves and it's this, floor dance basically, and you have to do it with like intensity and with accuracy in certain things, and like
and you better
all
key the hell out of it.
You have to realize that all of the moves are completely going to get you killed in a real fight. But the discipline and like you got to move your hands here, make it perfect, like making sure your uniform, your belt's tied, exactly. Like it gave you
like a paramilitary aspect.
Yeah,
it's today's Adderall. That's exactly what it was
for sure.
It was today's
for
Adderall.
Sure. And we picked a good karate place. I'm not going to say any names here, but the guy who owned our karate gym, our sensei, was like may or may not have been under investigation by a 3-letter agency or multiple. Like this guy was a gangster.
Hell yeah.
Drove around like sports cars and shit and could fight karate. I don't, to this day, me and my brother talk about it. We're like, do we know if he can actually fight or not? And now he's probably dead or really old.
Oh shit.
So like we're like, we could take him out now.
Oh yeah.
Sensei, he doesn't got shit because he would come up and like challenge you. And this guy was like 6'5" and you were like 12 years old. You'd get in your face and shit. You'd be like so intimidated. Yeah. But like when you walked out of there, you're like, oh, you got banged with Sensei. Yeah. Dude, like that guy better get me my taquitos at 7-Eleven and look at me and smile. Like I'm fucking ready to go.
My belt.
Yeah, my biggest confidence booster was the preloaded boards that were already cracked that I didn't know about it. When I kicked, I was like, fuck yeah. But now that I'm older, I see them like, now they're like on TikTok and they're doing like challenges and like, what do you... Like they're pre-cracked, dude.
Yeah, they put the date on it and be like, yeah, Anthony cracked this board at 6/18.
It's still in my fridge.
It's still in my fridge.
He's got it on a little shelf above his bed.
Next
to his like participation soccer trophy.
Yeah.
Then when you started hanging out with girls, you hid.
I ever passed. It's all up there, dude. On my high achievements.
Your space looks really big.
So for example, in Philly, we looked at so many different places, and my original gym was in Port Richmond, Northern Liberties area, right? And I kind of wanted to stay local like that, so I wasn't really my mind wasn't set on this neighborhood, but I love it because it's in the center of everything, and it was hard to find, basically a shell where we can just create everything. So it was just all concrete. That's all it was. Concrete and cinder block walls, and we just we built the frame, we built the walls. All three of us just did it by hand, and we had a little bit of help here and there, but it was just our idea that we kind of put together and we kind of blueprinted it, and it created it to the space that we have now. And we're still we're getting little minor equipment, minor details. We're gonna get our the logo on the wall and things like that. But besides that, door? we love the garage door. It's that kind of like that CrossFit feel where when it gets hot, and I love like working out in like hot ass gyms, like just from when I was growing up in boxing and things like that. They used to be like 100 degrees, but we throw that door up. It's just I love creating our space, and it had high ceilings. Everything else was like office retail space where we had to go to the landlord and be like, hey, can we knock this wall down? And they just immediately say no and just kill our dream. So it was kind of, we got really, really lucky finding this space for sure.
He sounded like Mark Wahlberg again. He's like, I'm Songbird. You got to let me fly.
The funny thing is,
I'm a peacock.
Multiple people say I look like Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah?
Or Matt Damon. I resemble him, yeah. I don't have their money at all.
Ride with it.
I am, yeah. I should be a stunt double.
Dude, Matt needs stunt doubles.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
I'm going to do it.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Fuck this gym, dude. I'm not.
Yeah, right. You know how to fight.
Table starts doing sit-ups. Pulls out a wooden piece.
Yeah.
Breaks boards.
Yeah. Don't bring a real one in, dude. You better get a saw and pre-cut that shit for me. And don't Gorilla Glue it, because that's tough.
Yeah, so are you guys, like, what is the schedule like?
So the schedule, we basically have 5 core classes. And the schedule was one of the most difficult things we had to do because all 3 of us have full-time jobs and rotating schedules.
Yeah, that's what I kind of didn't understand, how the hell you were going to do this.
So we sat down and we went over this schedule over and over again because not only does it have to be, we have to be there for it, but it also has to be towards people like being able to attend. We can't have crazy, because our hours are all over the place. So we have to be there for when people would want to work out. So we had to think as if we had 9 to 5 jobs, which we don't. So we created the schedule where we're always going to have early classes, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. So the biggest for people, before work. And then we're going to have our afternoon, our later, like before dinner time, and then our later classes, usually ending around 7 p.m., maybe 8 p.m. And we're going to kind of look, go with the analytics for that. We did so much research on other gyms and the aspects of when the quote unquote normal person works out, because our schedules aren't normal. Just because I get done work at, midnight doesn't mean I'm going to be done at midnight. I could get held on a job and be there till 2, 3 in the morning. So lack of sleep is huge for, all three of us, but it's just something that we adapt to over the years, especially with that schedule.
Is there a short-term run, or is there a goal to do this full-time?
Yes.
Within the next 2 years?
Funny thing is, I didn't plan on opening a warehouse or another space for 5 years, and I did it, and we did it together in 4 months. So our goals are
Yeah.
We want to be realistic.
Hey, there it is.
We want to be realistic, dude, but that's the end goal for all of us, is to do this full time. If I could do this full time, like, I never want this to ever feel like work. And I don't care. I can be on 2 hours of sleep. And when I start training someone or coaching someone or, in a setting like this, it just wakes me up. It brings me that, that C4 rush, that C4 energy drink rush where.
Yeah, don't snitch us out. We did pre-workout before this episode.
Yeah.
That's why we're all fired up.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, snoring some C4. But it just, it kind of just gives me that high where no matter how tired I am or, anything else going on in my life, stressful, just normal day, adult life.
Well, like, the path you're on is so exciting, especially when you're just getting started. And don't take any offense to this, like you haven't got your teeth kicked in maybe yet as a business owner. I'm sure you probably have come up obstacles, but like,
ask me if I know what I'm doing.
You have none of us really.
No clue.
none of us really know what we're doing in the beginning. But that's what's so cool. But that's why I love.
It's a journey, and I learned to enjoy the journey. There's 3 of us, so everyone says don't go into business with other people. Do it yourself. I love my business partners. We stand there, we scream at each other, and we come there. And I think we created such a unique gym that is going to flourish. But the cool thing about what I can do is if me and Alex argue. Me and him have the same personality. So we argue, and then I also train him. So we can get to the point where we're level-headed business partners, and we argue and we go over what's right and what's best for us and for the business, and we can argue all day. But when it's time to train, I'm teaching and he's the student. And that's why I love Alex. Like, we have that sense of respect for each other. Also, the cool thing about it is when we argue, we can just say throw gloves on, and then we'll just spar. And then we just hug it out, and everything's okay.
See, I told you guys.
Yeah, that's all.
That solves it. That comes from you both being very open-minded. Being open-minded to,
We have to be open-minded to each other, because what you believe in, like, for example, there's 3 of us in here. For example, what I believe, I think is, for one of my classes that I want to put together, and I wanted to put it together, say at noon. And you're like, nah, noon wouldn't work for me because of your experience with, trying to work out at noon with your job, or your experience with, like, you feel better working out at night. Like, we'll not argue, it's debating about things, but it's being real. And we have to come to terms where, what we feel best is for the clients and for our gym. And it took forever for this schedule, but I'm really excited about it because we're keeping it very modest, and we're being real with it, and we're trying to do it where we can get people in that gym, and we know once they step in that gym, they're gonna love it. Like, we have that wait list, like I said, like, people are excited for it before they even open it, before they even met any of us. Some are my previous clients, of course, but once these people learn Sean's personality and Alex's personality, they're gonna love them, and it's something new. It's a new aspect of what they're just used to with me with. That's why the expansion, it's so real. It's so, it's full circle. But, yeah, I'm excited for everything. And I'm excited this is just the beginning of it. And hopefully, we just want to expand it and just work around people. But that's the thing. I don't want 50 people in the class, because I'm going to lose. I don't care if it's 3 of us. I'm going to lose that sense of personal experience where, and that one-on-one training aspect that I don't want to lose. And that's what really is going to separate our gym from a lot of people.
Yeah, because you're personally getting rewarded and getting that psychic income from interacting on that personal level. Pretty much, like you're getting charged up from that.
I'm getting charged up for the fact of, I'm going to use this example. Alex, you know Alex very well.
Yeah, I do.
Alex has a fight coming up.
Mm-hmm.
He's training for his fight, and I see that art. I see my art, Evan's art, and Alex's hard work and dedication and his own flair when he goes out into the cage and he fights. Now take that all away, and it's just that person, that shy kid that came into the gym, and they were bullied at school maybe, and they just didn't have any confidence in themselves, and they've been training consistently for 1 month, and maybe, you know, it's taken them longer than most at that level or at that age, and they finally get to the point where they're learning and they're coming in, and you see the sense of confidence building and building and building. It's the same high for me. There's no difference between someone at a high level and someone at a beginning level. It's the same sense of pride, and that's what I don't want to lose, that personability with people, that rapport with people. I don't want to go in and be like, have no clue who that person's name is because we got so big. I don't care how big we get. I don't care if we expand to other locations, which of course is the end plan. We want that, but I'll never not have my hands, and neither will Alex or Sean. Will never not have our hands in it. We'll always be there, no matter what, because that's you know, that's what separates us from other people, and I think that's huge, especially in that world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it shows a good quality of leadership. Like, I don't know if you heard about this about Tom Brady. Even no matter if you were the fucking 53rd guy on the roster, he would come up to you and introduce himself because he wants to make sure that everyone knows what's going on, everyone feels welcomed, and, you know, everyone feels a part of the team. Yeah. And I think that's very important that you have that,
absolutely,
outlook on it.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
It's an individual sport, but it's a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
And in that community, jiu-jitsu community, the gym itself is a community, and you're going to learn about people, because what happens after jiu-jitsu class if you're not in a rush? What happens? You sit and you bullshit around.
Oh, I mean, we bullshit for, like, some of us have black belts in bullshit and white belts in training.
Correct. But you built, like, it happens.
But
you
that
talk to people.
That I could argue that's one of the pillars that is creating such a successful business for Evan. Evan doesn't want the type of success that's like traditional success.
No, you can ask Evan. Me and Evan talk all the time. You can ask him. No matter how big Evan gets, he'll never have anyone take over that gym for him. He's always going to be part of that gym.
Yeah, there's few things Evan cares about, and it's clean mats and like that community that he's building over there. And one of the things that, you know, spawned white belt wars was Evan. Well, Tyler, I think, went to his first jiu-jitsu tournament. And I don't know what came first in this order, but the conversation of, you know, going to a match without a coach there. And my first jiu-jitsu tournament, when I was a white belt, I was paying for private lessons at the gym I was training at. And when I was getting ready for the tournament, like, the guy I was paying for private lessons was like a black belt at the gym, was the professor of the gym. Was just like, yeah, I'm not coming. Like, looked at me like, why would I come to your jiu-jitsu mats? I'm like, I don't know, dude. You just been training me for a few months every Saturday and Sunday.
Just looking for a little advice.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, cool. So I went to that match, which you were at. Mm-hmm. I got my ass kicked for a variety of reasons, but one of them was an experience and like lack of just like knowing what a match was going to be like. And I came back and I left that gym.
Mm-hmm.
I told him why. And I went to the best gym for competition in the area. Straight, like, I literally went from like, this gym is bullshit. Like, your gym is, no offense, like, that gym was bullshit. And I went from the lowest gym in the area, which I didn't realize, to the best gym in like underneath two of the best competitors in like the world right now. And that realization came from like, dude, I need to join a place that's fucking serious about this and serious about what they're doing. And then when I moved to Doylestown and I met Evan, it was the right amount of like competitive spirit and team from that competition gym with more openness for like the everyday man. I'm not saying that movement aren't, like, I'm not saying that they don't have that, but it's very much like a competition gym. Like a lot of the majority of people there, or a large part of there, are focused on improving their jiu-jitsu games with detail that they're going to take to a competition.
Right.
Whereas Evans is a mixture of that.
Right.
And then you can go there on a Friday night and there's 6 white belts, 6 black belts, and a blue belt. And that's like, where other place in the world are you getting the privilege as a white belt to learn from these like guys who have been doing jiu-jitsu for, 20 years, maybe more.
Right.
And that like environment
is time of day
is so cool. And then I heard Evan one day, he's like, I never want to, like, if you are a white belt from any, like he was saying, like, if you're from any gym, if like you're going to a competition, you're going to be by yourself, like, you call me.
Yeah.
And that's where kind of like White Belt Wars all of a sudden was like, we need to prepare these people for, like, give them an opportunity to kind of go to a competition in a more relaxed setting.
Yeah, I really think that it's a huge experience gainer, and I understand, he's doing it for like a great cause for an AED and any sort of first aid for the gym.
That's his first one, but I'm sure we'll do another. I think
it's going to expand. That's what I'm saying. It's
White Belt Wars is going to grow.
I truly believe in that, just because of the experience aspect of, like, once, like, with our gym, like, I want to get to the point where I'm okay with nothing but beginners, but I want to get to the point where people who are serious and want to take it serious, and I can train at any level, where we have competition like classes for people that to attend. You have to be, hand selected by me, Alex, or Sean to attend, because you have to be on, you have to be on a certain level, but it's also something that you volunteer and you want to do it and you work towards it. But I would like to separate it. But those same people be in the same classes with someone who just works a 9 to 5 and does it for quote unquote fitness, but you're learning from different different levels, and it's good to experience that.
I love that type of environment. The competition environment's really addicting, and that's awesome. But when you can, like, my experience with getting Tyler to join jiu-jitsu, pretty much everyone I'm friends with that doesn't train, I'm trying to get you to train all the time. I'm working, like, there's probably 6 or 7 people I'm working on right now.
It's hard to explain to people, like,
the benefits, though. But when you see someone like our friend Tyler,
you just have to you go. So Tyler, I believe I know who you're talking to.
Tyler, yeah, he is enjoying and absorbing it on such a level, and like his enjoy, like, just what he's gotten out of it, like, that means so much to me.
I rolled with him one time,
and
then I rolled with him months later, and the difference was huge, just because of the dedication on him, and the love for the sport, right? And Alex talks about him all the time, but he's somebody that, and Evan praises him in the fact of, when you have people who are brand new, like, he's good to roll with, because he's good for you to roll with when you're newer, because he'll teach you, he'll go over technique. He's not there like most white belts. They want to rip your arm off because they don't know their own strength and they don't know the technique yet. They're going, balls to the wall, where they're not in such a flowy motion where they're not trying to hurt people when they come in. They're not doing it intentionally in jiu-jitsu. It's just, you got to get through that little white belt stage of, trying to, understand getting people in a Kimura and trying to rip their arm off, compared to, like, slowly.
It's just a little bit of responsibility.
Yeah, slowly, putting that pressure onto their joints.
But I guess in parallel, the reason, like, I'm really excited, like, I'm going to be, like, the way you're getting jazzed for, like, that young kid to come in and improve over that month, like, I'm leaving here today jazzed, because, like, you're new in business, and, like, I know what kind of journey you are going to be on, and that's like beyond awesome.
It's so fucking surreal, dude. It's like I said, I got into this business game late. I lacked the confidence in myself, and through work and personal.
But why do you say late though? I'm gonna stop you there. Like, it's
not so much late. Since I was 19, I was doing this career, and that's all I knew, and that's all I thought I was good at. So I tried my hardest, and I put all my dedication. I missed fucking Christmases with my family 8 years in a row. I've made Thanksgiving, twice in the last 12 years, shit like that. So I there was a lot of dedication and a lot of missed opportunity in my life for this job and for this career. And I finally got to a point where I was just like, fuck it. And honestly, I restarted and rebooted my entire life due to things that happened to me personally as well as like on the job. But like, it's just a restart, and I'm 34 years old. That's what I consider. Like, it's scary where I'm just like, I'm restarting my entire life and putting all my,
okay, I can
all my eggs in the basket. And it's to the point where my mindset's so much different than it was last year. So much different now, to the point where we're opening this gym together, and it's to the point where my confidence is sky high, where I know we're going to succeed because there's nothing else. Like, everyone in my circle, if you don't have any positivity in my life, or if you have nothing but negativity, then get out of my way, or I'm just going to run you over. We're here to help people, and this dream that I'm finally putting into a reality with the help of Alex and Sean. And it's our dream now. It's not my dream. It's our dream. It's finally coming true, and it's so surreal. And I think it'll be official once we put that fucking logo on the wall and just be like, oh, shit. And I started in this little prison cell garage to the point where we have a full facility with all of our ideas and all of our inputs and all of our hard work. Because, Sean, for example, works last tail. He's coming in, no lack of sleep, and we're fucking laying the floor for hours. Same thing with Alex. He's got 3 kids, and he's putting his family on the side to do this shit. So all of us are making sacrifices for it.
Does he have 3 kids now?
Yeah, he has 3 kids now. Oh, okay. Yeah,
I knew he just had another one, but I didn't know if that was 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's 3.
Yeah, he's got a squad.
Yeah. He's got his own little squad.
Got little ninjas.
Yeah, his little ninjas.
Maybe that's the remake.
Alex,
he'll never let us film his kids.
No, I'll show you.
He wouldn't even I trained with him this morning, super early, and I was joking with him. I'm like, oh man, you're not coming on the pod later, and he looks at me like, dude, you don't know me. And I'm like, oh, no, I knew you weren't gonna come.
His last post fight interview. He got it. He got knockout of the night. So, they give him a little reward, and, he had post-fight interview, and I was just like, that's such a fucking bad idea. And they gave him the reward, and they're like, okay, and they ask him questions like, oh, how do you think it went, and everything like that, and he's just like, takes it. Because Alex is straightforward. What you see is what you get, and he's the nicest dude in the world. You just got to get to know him. And he's just like, thanks, and just walks away. They're just like, awesome, dude.
Yeah, we're going to...
Cool, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
That's funny as shit.
We just had the episode that'll come out before your episode is Jillian Peterson from Art of War.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we had her on, and she was like giving us like the up and comers and like who we should have on the podcast in the fight world.
Yeah.
It would be cool to have Alex on. But I totally get like some people, it's just not their thing. And
yeah.
I put no pressure on them.
Yeah, Alex, I mean, you might, if he stands behind fucking bushes and me and you talk to him after class at Evans or something like that, maybe we can, just trick him into it. But
yeah, I told him he should come by and just like, we can sit him over there.
Yeah.
He can sit next to me.
Yeah. Or, I know how to get under his skin so well, so we can just talk about something to get under his skin, and he can't stand himself but not to say nothing. So he will just get him involved, and then he'll be good. Just get him pissed off a little bit, he'll be good.
That'll be the move.
Yeah, just annoy him. It's either that, like,
bear, get him on the show.
Yeah, it'll be about a paragraph, and then I'll just walk away. But you get something out of it. It's content, right?
Yeah,
that's all you need.
We'll just leave him as this phantom character that all the listeners will be like, who is this Alex guy? Yeah. He sounds intense.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but
you'll never know him.
Never.
The demand just gets so great. Like Channel 6 starts like doing news on the biggest investigative journalism podcast in Bucks County because of Alex's like allure.
Yeah, it's just the old school milk carton. Like, where is he?
Yeah,
it's just the guy with big ears and cauliflower.
Where's Carmen Sandiego and Alex?
You gotta go see him at the gym. It's the only way.
He's a unicorn. Come get choked.
But
tap or snap.
He's a great dude. That's like him and Sean. That's why 3 of us. It's 3 different coaching aspects, 3 different specialties.
I don't know if I've met Sean.
You haven't met Sean. He actually started going to Evans as well. Through Alex, and he came to me for a couple classes, and Evan's such a fucking great dude. It's easy just to get along with him, and now he's starting to get addicted to jiu-jitsu. He was in the Army for years, and he learned their defensive tactics, and he was part of that world, but he's slowly evolving into boxing, Muay Thai, and now jiu-jitsu, and he's like starting to fall in love with it all, and he wants to get involved in that world.
Yeah, Army combatives is a lot different, or like Marine Corps Army.
Oh my God,
is like way different. It's kind of
huge.
I think they're making changes to those programs.
Yeah, they are.
Maybe they did, or they're planning to make it more MMA.
Everything is now towards like I'm a striking coach. I will teach you boxing and Muay Thai at any level, but I will always tell you that I think jiu-jitsu is one of the greatest things to learn. It's going to help you with the most.
Yeah,
it really is. And I'm not even.
Yes,
I'm not even gonna like lie about that. Like, I think knowing everything overall is a huge advantage, but especially for smaller people, women, smaller guys, anyone, jiu-jitsu is the key. 1,000%.
Those short kings out there. Mm-hmm. You know who you are.
Yeah. Us.
Yeah. Us, dude. I know. The funny thing is, I was like, I walked up them steps.
Up in my seat.
I walked up the steps. I was like, I was eye level with this motherfucker. Is he talking about me?
Yeah, dude.
That's us.
I'm boosted.
It's like I'm 6'2". What you mean?
Yeah. Hopefully the new chairs make us look taller.
Yeah. Hopefully it makes us look 6'2".
Oh, dude. Thanks so much for coming by.
Yeah, man.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you? That sounded weird. In touch with you if they want to throw hands. Yup.
So right now, we're getting a website built and as well as an app, but currently the best way is through our Instagram at Valhalla_mindset. Get there, DM me. I always check 24/7. I answer everybody. And 9 times out of 10, I give you my personal number just to get a hold of me. So I like to be a part of it. I like to just not, I get personal with everything. That's the whole aspect of our business. I want it all to be one-on-one. I want everyone to have a name, just not a number. I don't want to see money signs or none of that bullshit where you get to the point where, you forget who made you. And it's the people that actually trust in you and your ability to change their lives. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Really genuine.
Yeah.
Gilmar, do you have anything?
I'm just excited for you, and it's never too late to start a new life. Like, I think
he's done it a bunch of times.
Yeah, I've done it a couple of times, and I'm still young as shit. I'm 28, but
fuck off.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. I can't wait to see you blossom and grow. And if you ever need any help marketing wise or anything, let me know.
I was
definitely gonna say that after the show, but since Gilmar so kindly said, like, if you need help doing the videos or anything like that, Gilmar did you see the video, the Fight for Tomorrow, like open mat with Alex getting ready before his one fight?
Yeah,
Gilmar made that.
That's awesome. And I'm always I want to learn that shit. Like, it's not even to the point, like, I love like learning. Like, now that I'm just so addicted to it now, it's to the point where like I didn't have social media until I had this.
Yeah.
And I just like fucking just learned it, and I was just playing around with it. So like, even learning that, like, even getting other people to help me, but I want to learn it to the point where I can do it one day. I think it's so interesting to learn, like, to learn new tasks, especially if it, helps your business, and just knowing that shit. It's just like anything. Like, why would you want to pay someone to fucking, build a house? I don't know how to build a fucking house, and I'm not going to learn, but.
Why would you pay someone to build a house? I build houses.
Boom.
Shotgun.
There you go.
It's never too late.
Never too late.
I just like get up and I'm
never too late.
Sit with Alex over here.
Never too late to learn, but I'm always about learning. So I really appreciate it. And like, honestly, like, when you reach out to me, and I was just like, yeah, fuck it, dude. And then I remember reaching out to you and being like,
don't make it seem like you're jumping off a cliff here.
No, not at all.
What, dude? You fucking, we're just gonna jump.
No, when you reached out, I was like, yeah, dude, fuck it, I'm all for it. And then when you were just like, when I asked you, like, yo, so should I be prepared? And you're like, nah, dude, let's just talk. And it was so chill, even just from fucking meeting you and even just talking, just going back and forth. It was just like I like being surrounded by that type of people where you can just sit in a room, never know each other, never met once at all.
Yeah.
And just kicking it back. And
that means a lot because when people,
this is the first ever podcast I ever fucking did. And it was super. It's super enjoyable. Like I could just sit here and talk all day because like you guys are like, it's just so welcome. It's easy. Like
a podcast that would be dangerous but should never happen is him and Evan.
Oh man.
Oh, we want to shut the fuck up,
dude. Evan talks forever.
Oh, and yeah, you would.
Evan's
it would just
podcast was wild.
It would be the first hour, like actual like the podcast, and then you two would leave. It would just be the lights out and just me and Evan just drinking dark. Coffee here in the dark, and we just have your dog chilling.
Yeah, I've gotten I guess like the podcast is very much like a selfish pursuit. Like I'm asking you questions that I want to know, but there is a part of me that sometimes is like, hey, like you're coming on this show, which we so much appreciate. Like we are obligated to you to like make sure that we like hit certain points or showcase you in a certain way. So it was cool. It's always cool to have someone on that you additionally connect with, because then it makes those aspects of what you're trying to do, what we're trying to do here, really easy. So like when you come on and you're really excited about what you're doing, like making a good show with you is easy. But if you came on here and you're like, I know it's tough. We're fighting.
Like, yeah, exactly.
And so when people are nervous or anything like that, it's it just means a lot that you had a good time and this was.
But I'll be honest with you, I didn't expect ever in my life again to talk about Three Ninjas, so it was really, really a nice throwback.
Yo, we're gonna end it on that.
Shout out Three Ninjas.
So Valhalla Mindset, Valhalla_mindset on Instagram until the website and the app is up. Once the app's up, I'm sure you're gonna be able to register for classes very seamlessly through there. This was also Gilmar and Andrew. We're hosting the happy hour June 28th, 86 West, upstairs. We've already got a ton of people registered. Bar tab getting covered by Justin from JTR Management / Superior Roof. Shout out. And thanks, Anthony, for coming by and hanging out with us.
Appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate it.